we want to kind of get an idea what the competition doing. Now, I'm using custom ink because over and over again, including myself, I've looked up what is custom ink sell. If you're not aware, custom ink is not the cheapest in the industry by any means. So in that respect, I think it's a great analysis, even if it's not what you consider your main competition, because they are very successful. They're very well priced, they're competitive, but yet they don't give it away, and they're making money. So it's a great example. You're also going to want, of course, probably look at your local competition. And if you don't know who that is, you got to find out who that is and how you're going to get their pricing. Well, there's all kinds of strategies for that. I won't go into depth about that, but you might need to do some secret shopping, talk to your potential or existing clients and get their feedback. A lot of your competition, particularly in the contract business, it's pretty easy to obtain what their contract prices are. And I don't consider that unethical. I mean, that's what we all have. How do you know your competition? You listen to know how they're priced. So you're going to have to look at that. Now, I'm going to get into using custom ink as an example, and you might do what we're about to go into here and build this with several of your competitors to try and find the best analysis of what your total competition is doing. So first, in this example, I go to the custom ink website, and I use maybe this example here as a starting point. I'm going to probably compare several different products, but I'm just going to go into their designer and, add an imprint. I won't take too much time on this. Let's just say we add a piece of art. And then you can go get a price, start plugging in quantities. You can change how many colors the imprint is, and just like our designers in deconetwork, and start taking the values. And and when you run in this example, okay, you got to put in your area code, of course. And okay, I know they're charging $12.16 each for a quantity of 12. So I created another spreadsheet and basically took the Steeldan 2000 product in white and black, and I grabbed pricing from them for several quantities. I just matched the breaks in my scenario here. I'm pulling that data that I did from the custom ink or whatever the competition is. I'm going to list all my different competitors and just do several scenarios. And this can get very elaborate if you want to, and I'll end up with all kinds of tabs down here for all your competitors. But in this case, I got one. I'm just looking at one product, white and black, with quantities that match how I've got my quantities set up. And I've got a one color front. I've got a one color front and back, and a two color front. And of course, you can keep building all kinds of scenarios, but you're just trying to get an idea and see what your competition is doing for that product, and then compare it with your own. Now, remember, I think it's probably what I cut out of the audio, as that custom ink in this example, it's all inclusive pricing. So there's no shipping costs and there's no setup costs when you look at their pricing. So even though your pricing might come out less, you still got to factor that in, or maybe you're going to factor in your shipping, which we'll get into a little bit later. You have to consider that in your analysis, and of course, your local competition, same thing. So all I did was build the same product, and I just built a column and said, okay, that shirt cost me this for $2.10 for a dark and $1.84. I'm going to start with marking up my product times 2, and then I have in these tabs here, I actually have it looking up my marked up sale price of $368. And then it's going back over to, I created a tab here with my screen printing prices that I created initially, way back here, and came up with my price sheet. And I have a copy here, and it's referring to that. So I might determine that all I got to do is play with the markup of the shirt with my decorating that I'm happy with to see where that comparison comes out to. I might determine that, hey, I want to actually adjust my print prices, and I'll go play with those numbers and tweak things around. I can tell you this, after doing this for decades, you start messing around so much. You get a rhythm, and you find out what works, and it's usually, it is a lot easier. And you also find out you don't have to be perfect across the board as long as you're super competitive and you have a good reputation and happy customers. But that said, You're going to want to build this and else, and we still do this. We revisit it ourselves just to see where we're at. People change their pricing, including custom ink, I would imagine. So you build out a spreadsheet with that. Then you've got your local competition, you do the same thing. But there's really not much more to it than that. You got to build the scenarios and compare it with your own and see where you're at and then make adjustments.